In question 3 asks us, in each of the following items, Roman 1 up to 10, write true if the statement is correct or false if the statement is incorrect. So we have true or false options. And so our question 1 from Roman 1, they've asked the rain gauge is an instrument used to measure the amount of rainfall. Rain gauge is an instrument used to measure the amount of rainfall. So from weather station, as you can witness, our instrument that we always use to measure the amount of rainfall is the rain gauge. So our answer here will be true. Rain gauge is an instrument that is used to measure the amount of rainfall. The second, they have asked the crust is the innermost part of the earth. Crust is the innermost part of the earth. So crust is not the innermost part of the earth, but crust is the outermost part of the earth. So for here, they will divide false. From this diagram, outside here we meet with soil and seam. This one form the crust. As you see, it is in outermost part. Soil and seam forms the crust at outermost. But if we go deep, we come to meet with mantle. But inside we have outer core and inner core. So this one, they are the innermost of earth, but crust is the outermost. That's why I've said in Roman 2 our answer will be false. But for Roman 3, block mountains are formed by prolonged inundation. Block mountains are formed by prolonged inundation. Denudation is just a subset of environmental degradation. And denudation always results into wearing off of the part of the Earth's crust. So automatically, through denudation, we can't form a mountain. It's not possible. So for this one, our answer will be false. Denudation doesn't form a mountain. But we'll come later to see these block mountains, they are formed by the process of faulting. Number 4, Moon is among the bodies that move in space relative to one another. Moon is among the bodies that move in relative space to one another. Number 4, our answer is false. It's not true. false. As I've explained earlier, when I was explaining about the solar and solar system, we have seen it's not true for Roman 4. But for Roman 5, they've asked, hydrological cycle is a continuous circulation of water from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere. This is true. This is true. As no, the hydrological cycle involves land and ocean, but again, the atmosphere. In land, we can have plants, but in ocean, from water. But in the atmosphere, we have cloud. So, this hydrological cycle is a continuous circulation of water from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere. From land, water will come from plants under the process of evapotranspiration, and then from ocean, water will be lost in form of water vapor to the atmosphere, and then to the atmosphere it will form cloud. When water vapor condenses, forms cloud, but clouds comes to form rainfall, and then rainfall will be back to the land in form of precipitation. So these precipitates will come to form underground water, and then underground water back to the ocean. That's why this is a continuous circulation of water from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere. It involves both the land and the ocean, where from the land, from plants, we lose water in form of evapotranspiration, whereby in ocean, water will be lost in form of water vapor, and then up to the atmosphere and condensed to form clouds. Then rainfall formation, as rainfall come back to the Earth's surface in form of precipitation, and then water will percolate down to the soil, forming underground water, and then underground water will come to include the ocean. So it is in a continuous form. So number 5, our answer is true. It's true that hydrological cycle is a continuous circulation of water from Earth's surface to the atmosphere. But number 6, they've asked, wind is air in motion from low pressure to high, from high pressure. Wind is an air in motion from low pressure to high pressure area. Geographical, our answer here is false. Wind always, let me draw the map of the Earth from here. Here is an equator. This is subtropical zones. Subtropical zone. But here, St. Paul's. But here is St. Paul's. Mind you, the area near the equator are characterized by high temperature and high rainfall. In the area where there is high temperature, always there is low pressure. But areas that are far from the equator, here from poles, they have low temperature. And if they have low temperature, meaning that they'll be having high pressure. So wind will be moving from the area of high pressure, where there is low temperature, to the area of low pressure, where there is high temperature. And this will create two patterns of wind, where winds that will be blowing in this direction from west, south and west, southwest. This one, it's called the monsoon wind. But winds that will be blowing from north to east. It creates a pattern of winds called the harmattan. This one is monsoon, and this one is harmattan. So all these explain the concept that wind always move from areas where there is high pressure to the areas where there is low pressure, from the poles to the equator, and they come to converge at the center here, creating the zone called the intertropical convergence zone. So our answer here geographically is false. It's not true that wind moves from the areas where there is low pressure to high pressure, but it's vice versa. Wind always move from low pressure, from high pressure to low pressure. So our answer, number 6, is false. Number 7, tourism can affect negatively the culture of host countries. Our answer here is true. Tourism can affect negatively the culture of the host countries. It's true, most of tourists, when they come to our countries, they have their culture. Maybe the way they're talking, the way of wearing. So some people used to imitate those culture from them. And our tradition can be contrasting with their tradition. For them to wear short skirts is known, but for us, it's not our culture. So tourism can affect negatively the culture of the host country, depending with the level of awareness of those people from host countries. But culture can be affected from tourism. So our answer here is true. But number 8, our question asks, the side of the mountain facing the direction of the wind is known as leeward side. The side of the mountain facing the direction of the wind is known as leeward side. It's not true. The side of the mountain facing the wind is called the windward side. So our answer here is false. The leeward side is the side that doesn't face the direction of the wind. And always the leeward side is dry, while the windward side is wet. So the side of the mountain facing the direction of the wind is the windward side, not the leeward side. So that's why I've written here false. Roman 9 is capital is only determining factor to improve small-scale agriculture in Tanzania. Capital is only determining factor to improve small-scale agriculture in Tanzania. Our answer here is false. Not only capital can be the determinant for the improvement of small-scale agriculture in Tanzania, since there are many factors contributing to the development and improvement of the agricultural sector. It's true, money can be the big problem, but again, we need to have land. Not only having land, we need to have water. Not only having water, again, skills, awareness to farmers on how to cultivate is again a big problem. That's why not only a single factor can determine the improvement of the small-scale agriculture in Tanzania, but it's the accumulation, cluster of factors. So it's not true. It's true, capital again is one of the determining factors, but it's not only one. It's not the only determining factor. There are many factors that will determine the improvement of small-scale in Tanzania. So answer here will be false. Roman 10. Scale of the map is the ratio between distance of the map and distance on the ground. True. The scale of the map, we take the distance on the map and the distance on the ground, the actual distance. Hence we come to give the scale. So our answer here is true. So for section A, I hope it's over. We have discussed the 3 questions, the multiple choice questions, the true or false questions, and the matching item questions. This question 3 is over.